Okay, things are looking good. Hello everyone, Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we are continuing the Pokemon Sapphire Nuzlocke. Last time, we had a bit of a briefer session where we're just going around the Hoenn region, seeing all the new things we're able to do now that we have obtained Dive, as well as managing to fight a couple of more battles along the ocean. So yeah, it's definitely a very nice time, but today we are diving into some more serious portions of this game, as we'll be continuing on the main story, and gonna have one hell of an encounter. Those of us who know what's in store, yeah, we definitely have a lot to prepare for. So I want to quickly show what our team is looking like at the moment before we head off to the next leg of our journey. So what I would recommend is having someone in your team that knows Strength as well as Rock Smash for where we're going to, as those are going to be very helpful to us. And obviously you want a Pokemon that knows Surf and Dive. So yeah, we have a lot of HMs that we're going to be using. So this is the team I ultimately decided to go with for this stream session. Also, I do want to highlight that for a little while, we're going to be focusing on leveling up Titania, just because she is very close to getting something very beneficial to her. She's definitely been pulling her weight in a lot of great battles. We easily couldn't have made it this far without her contributions. So yeah, I'm going to be very excited to eventually get to see her level up a few more times, so that we'll be able to see her truly reach her full potential. Also, I want to note that I've taken the liberty of buying quite a lot of Ultra Balls, as we are going to be needing them. There's some other things that I did in order to prepare for the stream session, but I'll go into those a little bit later. So yeah, it's definitely been a while since the last session of this playthrough we have done, and I obviously had my reasons for why it's taken so long in between sessions. I've just been very busy with work the last couple of weeks, and it's just been so crazy what I've had to do. And the only other day off that I had around this period, I had scheduled an appointment in order to do my tax returns on that day, so I obviously wasn't feeling keen on doing a stream immediately afterwards. So that is why we did not do a session on that particular day. Alright, so back over here on Route 127, as I said before we were in this area, there's nothing we really need to worry about in the waters around here, as this trench down here has no wild Pokemon we can encounter. However, there are a good deal of items that we're able to find down here in the Abyss. So if you look around this area, you should be able to find a good supply of different collectibles. That would be very handy for us to get. Like, we're able to pick up heart scales, and I believe there's also some vitamins we can grab down here, so it's always good to try and pick up what you can. And at this point, we should be in the Route 128 portion of this trench, which is actually where we need to go in order to progress the main story here in Sapphire. So yeah, in that little cave over there is our main objective. So don't believe there's anything else around here we need to worry about. God, I'm still so excited for Winds and Waves. So I'm easily anticipating us being able to go underwater in that game. And I know it's going to be an incredible experience. Once we're over here in the room with the submarine, just gotta dive back up. Welcome to the Seafloor Cavern. It's an area that's been hyped up for a good portion of this adventure. Yeah, in order to proceed forward, we need Rock Smash and Strength. Yeah, they really do overdo it with some of the HM requirements in this adventure, and We haven't even seen the worst of it in this game. Trust me on that. So Team Aqua has come down here as part of their... whatever their machinations are. So we gotta deal with these guys on our way to our big prize. It's gonna be a good opportunity to get Titania some extra experience, as she should be able to handle anything these guys can do. We don't need to get around. Go on home already. So I think the only thing that would really give us trouble would be Carvanha, but I honestly don't think those guys have any water attacks that we gotta worry about. I haven't really used the Carvanha line a lot in my playthrough, so I have no real idea for what their movesets would really be. Yeah, we should be able to handle whatever these fish are able to do to us. Let's go for takedown. And yeah, these guys are usually going to be doing special moves with their water and dark stab. But besides that, Titania should be good to handle things here. Took care of the first grunt pretty handily. We still got more to deal with here. So yep, as a quick recap on what's been going on with Team Aqua, they stole an orb of great significance from Mount Pyre, and then they also stole a submarine to be able to reach the seafloor cavern. So those two events are definitely connected in some way, and it's up to us to figure out what's going on and try to stop them. Because anything Team Aqua's involved with cannot be good, given our previous experience with dealing with these guys. Losing makes me sore. And of course, if you're playing Ruby and Omega Ruby, you would instead be dealing with Team Magma in this area. But they're honestly not that different. They just use Nummel instead of Carvanha. Now, a lot of the sections of the seafloor cavern here are going to be very maze-like, with a great deal of different puzzles that you need to handle in order to access these different areas. It's nothing too complicated, and there honestly isn't a whole lot of treasure that we need to worry about down here in the cave. There is one thing that we're definitely going to want to go after, but we don't need to worry about that until way later on, so we should be pretty good with that. Also, I'm hoping, in general, that the stream session is going to go well, because before I went live, OBS needed to do an update, and I don't know what it is with this update that they just put in, but like the OBS screen is like way too big. It has taken up like most of the room on my computer desktop here. Like I could like scooch it over a little bit to give more room for the window I'm using to keep track of how things are going on YouTube, but really isn't that much of a problem. I just gotta deal with this as we're going forward. So now we got this room over here with a ton of strength boulders we need to deal with. Honestly, it's not too bad. Just gotta shove these guys over to the side and we can go forward. Ooh, but look who it is. We got ourselves a lady. And I'm very familiar enough with this organization to know who we're going to be facing next.
How'd you manage to get here without a submarine? What an impressive child. But it won't do to have you meddling around here. And I do want payback for what happened at the Weather Institute. I'm gonna give you a little taste of pain. Resign yourself to it.
Yeah, definitely explains why I made Shelly quite the sadist with a bit of a dominatrix streak in my Emerald comic back in the day. But yeah, we got ourselves a rematch with Shelly. This time she's definitely not going to be pulling any punches. Ooh, critical hit. Yeah, she's got herself a fully evolved Sharpedo. That thing can be nasty. Alright, we lowered your speed. That's a good sign. I'm not too worried about this thing having a water attack, honestly, so let's go for another rock, too. Really? Taunt? Okay, sure. It's not really gonna be... Oh, come on. Titania can weather anything this Sharpedo can do. That one nasty hit was a critical hit, so we should be able to tank this. Alright, that takes care of the shark. What else does she have in her team? She's got Mightyena. Alright, that thing's gonna intimidate Titania, so we should probably switch out. Celeste is not a good switch-in because you're psychic. Yeah, let's go for Liam, our trusty starter here. Should be able to handle this hyena pretty well. Oh, goddammit, not Swagger. Also, hello, Javier. Welcome to the stream. You know what? I'm not going to risk the confusion hit here, especially since her attack's been buffed. Let's just use the yellow flute. I don't think Mightyena should do too much to us at this level. Like, I don't even think it gets crunch at 38. And I should know from experience since I have used Mightyena in the past. Come on. So that is going to be pretty bad if we hit ourselves. So we have a +4 attack boost there. Ooh, this is going to suck. Yeah. I would really like to actually be able to hit this thing, but it just keeps impairing us using that damn move. So you really got to be careful when... Oh, come on. Okay, you want to throw down? Fine. Mickey, let's do this, buddy. Alright, it's time for us to make a deal. Okay, the swagger boost on Mickey here could be really good for him. So let's cure that confusion and then see what we can do. Alright, we missed the scary face, so we should be able to outspeed Mightyena here. I could also recommend being a few levels higher than I currently am for this part of the game, just because of really tough fights coming up. Ouch! So that takes care of Shelly.
You're so darn strong. It's terribly disappointing you're not a Team Aqua member. You could have enjoyed the fabulous world our bosses promised to one of our own.
Considering what this guy has planned, I am not too excited about that prospect. Alright, let's heal up our team because we did take a bit of a beating against Shelly. Yeah, she can be deceptively challenging at this part. And also, if you're playing Ruby, you would face Courtney at this part. Alright, I definitely remember this room giving me a bit of trouble when I was younger. Just anytime there's a strength puzzle involving, like, multiple rocks that you have to shove in order to get this, it can be pretty challenging. But we don't need to worry too much about that. Now we've reached the final floor of the cavern. We can pick up TM26, which you definitely want to grab while you're down here. This move is Earthquake. This is a 100 base power ground type attack. Easily one of the strongest moves you can have in the game. If you've got yourself a Sand Slash or the evolution of Trapinch, this would definitely be a very worthwhile move to get to it. Or it could also be serviceable on a Pokemon like Titania, which is a good, solid physical attacker. Just all around, a lot of good Pokemon are able to make use of this move. It's definitely one that could be very beneficial to you and your teams. Also, you may have noticed that I haven't caught a single Pokemon while we were down here. Yeah, there really isn't any new Pokemon that we're able to capture, so there's no real reason for us to even try. But here we are. I am very nervous about what's to come. Hold it right there! There's the big man himself. So, it was you after all.
Behold! See how beautiful it is! The sleeping form of the ancient Pokémon Kyogre! I have waited so long for this day to come. It surprises me how you managed to chase me here. Well, that's all over now. For the realization of my dream, you must disappear now!
It is time for our final battle against Archie. If you are playing Ruby, you would be facing Maxie here. And if you're playing Emerald, you would also be fighting Archie here. Leading off with Mighty Anna. This thing is going to be throwing the Intimidate up, so that's going to be pretty nasty. So I'm going to gauge what this thing is going to do here by using Protect, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Yep, obviously it's going to go for the Swagger. Okay, I have the Intimidate drop on us, but Iron Tail's really powerful, so we should be able to handle this thing here.
Time to put an end to your madness! I'll crush all of you!
Really? Super Potion at this stage of the game? Yeah, Titania should be easily able to handle most of what Archie has in his team. Mighty Anna being a Dark type really doesn't have anything that can deal with a Steel type. Next up is Crobat. Another Pokemon I'm not too worried about. But trust me, this thing is brutal. It is very fast. It's able to confuse your team using Confuse Ray, which has 100 accuracy, mind you. This thing can be really nasty. When Jaded Animations did her Ruby Nuzlocke, Crobat actually managed to take out her Tentacruel, which was definitely a pretty bad loss for her. But we should be fine. Titania can handle anything this Crobat can do to her. There's really no trouble that we need to worry about besides confusion. Okay, it can also flinch us, but that's really all this thing has going for it. Titania should easily be able to crush it.
It is a persistent pest, but it'll go down all the same.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't have any better rock moves than Rock Tomb at this point. You are able to get Rock Slide in some of the other Generation 3 games, but sadly, it's really hard to get in the Hoenn region, because your only bet is to get it in the Battle Frontier in Emerald. And yeah, that is just very unfortunate that we don't have access to that. Right, Rock Tomb almost got this thing down. Got a couple speed drops on it, but I don't know if that's enough for us to outspeed. Honestly, I'm not too worried about this thing doing too much damage to Titania, so let's just go for takedown.
Bam! Stay down!
And with Crobat down, we just got one more Pokemon to go. Sharpedo, Archie's ace. Let's go to Liam, our trusty starter.
Don't worry, I'll handle this one.
After we deal with that Swagger, cause I don't like that. Sharpedo, obviously, is a very strong attacker and also very fast. Thankfully, we shouldn't have to worry too much about this. Giga Drain will be able to heal up any damage we do to this thing, so let's go for that. And there it goes. Also, another thing with my Emerald comic that I liked relating to Archie is I changed his team so that it included a lot more Water-type Pokemon. Namely, he had a Huntail and a Seadra during this encounter. So, I felt like that was a nice little change that I did for that part of the story. But, we're done.
I lost again?
It's over, Archie.
I commend you. You must recognize that you are truly gifted. But I have this in my possession. With this red orb, I can make Kyogre!
The red orb suddenly began shining by itself.
Who disturbs my slumber?
What? I didn't do anything! Why did the red orb? Where did Kyogre go? It's a message from our members outside. Yes, what is it? It's raining heavily? Good, that should have happened. That's why we awakened Kyogre, to realize Team Aqua's vision of expanding the sea. What? It's raining far harder than we envisioned? You're in danger? That can't be! That's just not possible! Hold your position and monitor the situation. There's something wrong. The red orb's supposed to awaken and control Kyogre. But why? Why did Kyogre disappear? Why?
What have you wrought? Archie, you finally awoken Kyogre, haven't you? What will happen to the world if this downpour continues for all eternity? The world's landmass will drown in the deepening sea.
What are you saying? The red orb should let me control Kyogre. That can't be possible.
We don't have the time to argue about it here. Get outside and see for yourself. See if what you've wrought is the world that you desired. Hayden, come on. You have to get out of here too.
What happened? What is this wretched scene? Did I make a horrible mistake? I only wanted...
Do you understand now, Archie? Do you finally see how disastrous your dream turned out to be? We have to hurry. We have to do something before the situation goes completely out of control. Hayden, we, Team Magma, have been pursuing Team Aqua to prevent this from happening. You've been very helpful, but I fear the worst has happened. It's gone too far for a child like you to manage. Leave things to us and get out of here while you still can. This defies belief. A super ancient Pokémon. Its power is unbelievable. It has upset the balance of nature.
Hayden, what's happening? This is terrible. If this doesn't stop all Hoenn, no, the whole world will drown. This huge rain cloud is spreading from above Sootopolis? What in the world's taking place there? There's no point arguing here. Sootopolis should provide answers. Hayden, I don't know what you intend to do, but don't do anything reckless. Okay, I'm going to Sootopolis. So things have definitely gone bad. So all throughout the oceans of Hoenn now, there's going to be this torrential downpour, as Kyogre's power has now been fully unleashed, and there's going to be constant torrential rain. If this keeps up, it's going to drastically affect the balance of this region. So yeah, Archie, he messed up big time. He thought that the power of the red orb would be able to control Kyogre, but instead its power has gone wild, and he is unable to contain it. That's another point that I feel definitely shows that Archie, as well as Maxie, if you're playing Ruby and Omega Ruby, definitely not the most competent of Pokemon villains, how they end up losing control of the legendary Pokemon that they seek. Everyone in town has taken refuge and won't come out of their homes. This weather, could it be the prelude to something? We talked to some NPCs during this point. They actually do change their dialogue to reflect it. I don't know why, but I'm really scared. So yeah, situation here has gone really bad. So, for this next portion of the game, I would like to make a quick change to our team in order to prepare for what's to come. So we got ourselves a very, very powerful Pokemon to deal with. And I have a good feeling that a lot of the Pokemon we've been using throughout this adventure aren't going to be able to handle what we're going up against. So for this, I would actually like to bring in some Pokemon that I have especially prepared for this encounter. Namely, we're going to be bringing in Haywire the Lantern, who I have prepared for this fight for one specific reason. She knows Thunder Wave. So yeah, remember how we've been using Zappercorn for a good portion of our adventure? Sadly, they're unable to learn Thunder Wave, and yeah, that's a big reason why I wanted to have an electric type in our team because of that specific attack. So my plan for what I was going to do here is have Zappercorn outspeed our target and then paralyze him with Thunder Wave. However, since Sapphire does not get Thunder Wave in this game, I want to train up a Pokemon who does, which is why we have Haywire. And also Haywire has a lot of HP, so they should be able to weather anything that this next encounter is going to do to us. Also, based on what we're going to be dealing with, we can expect to see some Ice-type moves, so Liam and Gladys are actually at a big disadvantage here. Let's bring in Filet, as you'd be a pretty nice user to go here. But another Pokemon I prepared for this encounter is Dokuro the Shedinja. Having a Pokemon with Wonder Guard is really useful in this specific portion of the game, for a reason that'll become very evident. So yeah, my strategy going into this big fight coming up, we're going to be having Haywire paralyze our opponent, and then switch into Dokuro in order to weather attacks, knowing that Dokuro will be able to resist anything that this next Pokemon is going to do to us. For a very, very good reason, as you can probably tell by the amount of Pokeballs that I have right now. So yeah, we got ourselves a very, very big encounter we gotta do. Let's do the best we can. Also, it would be a good idea to have some repels around here, so this will be really good for what's to come. Yep, even in this crisis, the gym is closed. I don't really need to use the Mart at the moment, so let's just head on out of here. Also want to show that during this period, all of the houses in Satopolis are closed off. You can use the Pokemon Center and the Pokemart, but everywhere else is inaccessible. Hayden, you came too? In this terrible rainstorm yet. Oh yes, can you hear out what my friend has to say? My name is Wallace. I'm this town's gym leader. I've also been entrusted with the protection of the Cave of Origin. This downpour is caused by a power emanating from the Cave of Origin. That is the blue orb. I see. Follow me. This rain. People and Pokemon need water to live. But why does this rain fill us with so much dread? The rain clouds over Satopolis will keep building and soon extend all over Hoenn. If that were to happen, it would be cataclysmic. The Cave of Origin is ahead. No one from Satopolis is permitted to enter the Cave of Origin. But you must go, together with your blue orb. You must go regardless of what awaits you inside the cave. Hayden, I never expected you to be holding the blue orb. You'll be okay. With your Pokemon, you'll get things done no matter what. I'm convinced of it. So now we have permission to enter the cave due to us having possession of the blue orb, which we actually can't see in our inventory, but, you know, trust me, it's there. It's time to go in. The Cave of Origin. I highly recommend using repels in this area. There are wild Pokemon we could catch here, but we don't need to worry too much about that. Also, yeah, it is dark. We can see this area is shaking from what's going on. So also want to be careful when looking through this area, as there is an item that can be easily missed that is required for story progression. I think it should be around this floor. Where is it? I mean, we could go here later to try and find this item if we can't get it. Oh, there it is. HM07. This item, which is easily missable in the darkness, is required in order to progress the main story. For this is the HM for Waterfall. This is like an 80 base power water type attack. Not as good as Surf, but it's still necessary. Here we are. The Cave of Origin Center Chamber. There is the legendary Pokemon Kyogre. Before facing this Titan, I recommend saving. Though, for this adventure, we're only going to have one shot at this. Given the way our team is currently prepared, I think that we might have a good shot at this. Okay, let's do this. Hayden's blue orb suddenly began glowing.
So, you possess the blue orb. You desire to challenge me, mortal? Very well. Show me you have the might to survive my storm.
Kyogre, the legendary Pokemon that created the oceans of our world. This thing is easily the strongest special attacker you're gonna meet in the main story of Pokemon Sapphire. This thing is brutal. I wanted to lead with Haywire in this fight because its main dangerous attacks it can do are Hydro Pump and Ice Beam, both of which Haywire resists. Plus, she has a lot of HP, so she should be able to weather what this thing can do. Let's go for Thunder Wave and try to paralyze her. Yes, we actually managed to outspeed. A trifling matter. Alright, now that she's paralyzed, it's time to weaken her. So we're going to be going for Spark. I could have taught Thunderbolt to Haywire, but I felt that Spark would be a bit better just so that we could have a nicer shot at not accidentally killing this creature. Because, yeah, as you can obviously expect, we're going to try to catch the beast. So, catching a legendary Pokemon in a Nuzlocke run. Typically, this is certainly a challenge that a lot of players could try to do to obtain a very powerful addition to their team. In the case of Kyogre, yeah, this would make an amazing addition to our party if we're actually able to catch her. So, of our options for actually managing to catch it, you have access to the Master Ball in this game, which will instantly capture the beast. However, that feels a bit too cheap, just instantly being able to capture this monster. So, what I want to do is try to catch her the legit way. Alright, at this point, I'm worried another Spark crit could actually kill her, so we're going to go for Surf. Also, this Kyogre is very nasty because she has access to Calm Mind. This attack raises both her special attack and special defense, which really makes her nasty if she manages to get a lot of buffs in. Let's go for... yeah, Hyper Potion to heal up Haywire here. You shouldn't have to worry about damage from this thing in a little bit. I'm just... oh man. So good that that Hydro Pump missed, because that thing boosted by the rain would have been brutal. I don't even think Haywire could survive a hit like that. Okay, we got her down into the red and she's paralyzed. Haywire, you've done your job. Dokuro, it's all on you, man. So I wanted to bring in Dokuro for this encounter, because the only attacking moves Kyogre has are normal, ice, and water. Thanks to Wonder Guard, Dokuro cannot be damaged by Kyogre. So now it's time to capture this beast. I would easily recommend using Net Balls in this encounter, since they have an increased rate of capture on water-type Pokemon. Otherwise, go for Ultra Balls. They are 2 times as effective as a regular Pokeball and are probably your best shot at actually catching this legendary monster. But yeah, this thing is easily going to be just a formidable beast. Yeah, I'm very glad that you caught that, Xavier. His name is indeed based on Skull. We also have a timer ball in case things take really long in this fight. But yeah, this encounter is also going to be very cathartic to me, as if anyone who has watched my Soul Silver VODs that I posted the last couple of months would be able to tell. I have a history with this Pokemon. Back in my Soul Silver Nuzlocke run, which was randomized, we actually ended up getting Kyogre as our encounter at the bottom of the Whirl Islands, replacing Lugia. And I tried to catch this thing the legit way, but it ended up powering itself up and actually managed to take out one of my team members, who was a Bronzong. And after that, I just decided, you know what, I don't want to risk any more of my Pokemon. So I just caught it in the Master Ball. But here, I want to try and actually capture this thing the legit way. And this time we have Dokuro on our side, so we should be able to hopefully get through this fight without any fatalities. Unless this thing ends up struggling when it eventually runs out of power points. But we shouldn't have to worry too much about that. So obviously, if you're playing Ruby, you would be encountering Groudon in this story point. And instead of Torrential Rain, the area would instead be affected by harsh sunlight, which would threaten to drain all the oceans. So, regardless of which legendary Pokemon was going to be released, it would result in catastrophic damage to the environment of this area. So yeah, really makes you wonder why Archie and Maxie thought it would be a good idea to unleash these legendary beasts. Another reason I wanted to try and actually capture Kyogre the legit way is I've been playing through Leaf Green after it was released on the Nintendo Switch the last couple of weeks, and I actually had a pretty good series of runs with catching the legendary birds in that game, so I felt like we could potentially have some good luck with Kyogre here. Like, the easiest of the birds I managed to catch in those runs was Moltres. We actually managed to catch on, like, the 4th Ultra Ball I used, so that was very nice. We've seen her shake 2 times, but never a third. At the very least, we should be able to weather this storm. It's just a battle of attrition at this point. Alright, I know we can do this. So obviously, if we do end up catching Kyogre here, that would present ourselves with a very interesting opportunity in this run, because this is easily going to be the most powerful Pokemon we can use in the rest of the game. And for many players, they obviously consider using legendaries when you're doing a Nuzlocke run as a bit of cheating just because of how high their stats are compared to the regular Pokemon you would encounter throughout the adventure. But here, I think it would be, if we actually manage to capture Kyogre the legit way of managing to just weather these very low catch rolls and finally manage to get her without needing to use the Master Ball, I feel like we have earned the right to use this Pokemon in our team. Also, I have a pretty good name in mind for what I want to call this Pokemon, so I would love the opportunity to actually name her. Come on! Oh, she shook 3 times that time. We were so close. Alright, we're still doing well. We've only used half of our Ultra Balls, and we still got a lot of more opportunities to get her. Come on. Also, General, I just want to say, God, Kyogre's design is amazing. Just taking the appearance of an orca whale and just having the red lines all throughout her, just giving this very godly appearance. It is an amazing design. In general, I really like the designs of the legendary Pokemon in Generation 3. Groudon is very cool with its very craggy reptilian appearance. It very much looks like a volcanic beast that rose from the earth. And then, of course, we have Rayquaza, which is this very sleek and beautiful green dragon Pokemon. Just got a very serpentine form. And it presides over the sky, whereas Groudon and Kyogre represent land and sea. Just a very cool trio of legendary Pokemon. And some of the ones that I definitely have a lot of strong feelings towards. Also, you know, I spent a lot of time playing the Generation 3 games as a kid, so obviously these guys would be very sentimental to me. Alright. At this point, I think we've gone a while for this fight, so let's try our Timer Ball. I don't know if this is really gonna work. Nope. Okay. We still got a couple more Ultra Balls. And I don't know if she's really close to struggling yet. Let's just keep at it. Worst case scenario, we can fall back on our Great Balls, which are only a 1.5 times chance of capture compared to the 2 times that the Ultra Ball does. But, you know, it's still effective. Also, Kyogre would look very good in a Great Ball since it matches her color scheme. Come on. You're so weak at this point. Stop struggling and let me capture you. Don't you want to join my team? It would be fun. Dokuro, you've been doing really good at weathering these attacks, man. Very proud of you. Come on. Yeah, it definitely seems that way, doesn't it, Xavier? Although, there's basically nothing that she can do to kill Dokuro. Come on. It's starting to feel like I should have bought more Ultra Balls for this. Hello, George, lil bro. Welcome to the stream. You caught us in the midst of our Pokemon Sapphire Nuzlocke run, and we're trying to capture the mascot of this game. It hasn't been going too well so far. Alright, only 2 Ultra Balls, so this is getting pretty bad. Come on. Oh! We are drastically running low of options here. I definitely should have brought more Pokeballs for this encounter. I'm sorry, I thought 30 would be enough. But nope, that's all of our Ultra Balls. So we gotta fall back on our Great Balls. Not gonna be as effective, but there is still a chance. Come on, Kyogre, you would look so pretty in a Great Ball. It matches your color scheme. Come on. Ugh. She does not want to submit. Which I know is a pretty awful thing to say right now. I thought for a second we might have had it. It's like every time I see the ball shake, I get hopeful. Like, is this gonna be it? Yeah, good to hear there, George. I definitely like Kyogre a lot. It's definitely up there when it comes to my ranking of the legendary Pokemon. Though, of course, Rayquaza is my favorite legendary from this generation. But yeah, this one would definitely be very good to have in our team. Just such a powerhouse. Could easily wash away, like, everything that we will face in the end game here. Got only 3 Great Balls left. Damn it, I should have prepared more for this encounter. God, she has already maxed out her special attack. If this thing could just easily wipe out every other Pokemon we have in our party right now. Thank Arceus we have Dokuro with us. Got 1 Great Ball left. After this, we only got a few more options. Nope. That's it for using our really good balls. So all that's left is the leftovers. I am not using my Master Ball. Luxury Ball is about as effective as a Pokeball. The only added effect this gets is that it makes Pokemon be able to build up their friendship easier. Would she like to be in a Luxury Ball? It is very nice. Nope. Apparently Kyogre is a girl of more modest taste. Because she doesn't want to live in luxury. Ugh. We just have 3 Pokeballs left. Yeah, I definitely should have prepared for this more. Oh my god. When I actually saw the Pokeball shaking, I thought, were we gonna do this? I mean, we still have a chance, but it's just so low at this point. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! She shook 3 times in a regular Pokeball! Yeah, she is just eating our Pokeballs like that Wish Cache in that one episode of the anime. We only have 1 Pokeball left. If this doesn't work, then we're gonna have to say goodbye to Kyogre. Please, I'm pouring all of my hopes into this 1 Pokeball, like Goku preparing a Spirit Ball. Let's do this! No! We were so close. So, if this were a normal run of Pokemon Sapphire, this would be the point that I reload my save and try to get another go at this. However, this is a Nuzlocke run. The progress we make is permanent. Dokuro, finish her. I'm sorry, Kyogre. You would have been a great addition to our team, but we have to put an end to your catastrophe. Kyogre appears to have settled into sleep again. We did our best. We honestly tried our best. I don't know what else we could have done. I mean, obviously, we would have had more chances if we bought more Ultra Balls. I just thought that 30 would be more than enough to actually be able to do it. Especially because I had such good luck with the legendaries I was catching in Leaf Green. But it just wasn't meant to be. I feel like this is the game telling us, no, we're not getting any shortcuts. We gotta beat this game the legit way. No easy mode, no legendaries. We just have to do our best to prevail. But thanks to our efforts, the Hoenn region is now saved. All life starts at the Cave of Origin and it all ends on Mount Pyre. Where do people and Pokemon come from? Where are we bound? Definitely an interesting thing to say there, buddy. You've come all the way to Satopolis. You're no ordinary tourist. Well, I suppose that doesn't make you an extraordinary tourist either. God, I feel really bad about actually having to take out Kyogre there after trying so damn hard. Yeah, no, it's fine to mention that, Javier. I'm just a little butthurt is all. We did our best. It was an honestly good effort. Like, we did everything right in that fight. Paralyzing and weakening Kyogre with Haywire, then switching into Dokuro to weather all of her attacks. We did everything right. It was just that the luck did not roll in our favor. We gave it our best effort, and that's all that matters. Hi, what's your name? Okay, that's nice. Yeah, we've already talked to Kiri before in the last session when we visited. Oh, a Rabuta Berry. Those are pretty rare, actually. And we get a Figgy Berry. So what are Rabuta Berries again? Like, obviously this thing is named after the Rutabaga. Oh yeah, we can't even see what this thing looks like until we put it in a blender. Then we got a Figgy Berry, which is obviously named after a fig. Oh yeah, we did manage to catch the Feebas, so that was definitely a highlight of this playthrough. But come on, it was Kyogre! Easily the strongest Pokemon we could have caught in the main story. If we actually managed to catch her, and in a Nuzlocke run no less, that would have been so good. Well, we did our best. It's like all that remains now is taking on the next gym. And boy, do I have plans for this. Okay, Haywire, Dokuro, you both did your jobs very well in that encounter. You both deserve a nice good break for that. Alright, so the next gym we're gonna go to, basically we've been dealing with a lot of water Pokemon, and guess what? We're gonna be dealing with even more water Pokemon. Honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring Haywire with us as backup. I still don't have Thunderbolt on her, but honestly, we don't need it. She has Spark. That should do plenty to what we're going to be going up against. And, of course, I want to take this opportunity to level up Titania some more. So, yeah. Also, as an aside, I feel like it's time we address the Kaparaja in the room. Pinky here! So like I said in one of my previous sessions, I did want to try and evolve our Clam Pearl off stream. And I even managed to get the Deep Sea Scale, which is the item necessary to get Gorobus. And to just see what we're able to do here. However, when I leveled this thing up, it ended up triggering the evolution into Huntail, despite the fact that it was holding the Deep Sea Scale. So, I tried multiple opportunities to see if we could get it to evolve into the other Pokemon, but no matter what, it would still only evolve in a Huntail. So I think the program I used in order to cancel the trade evolutions and make these Pokemon more accessible, it probably altered Clamperl so that its evolution turns into one based around gender. So, no matter what, because Pinky is male, he would always evolve into a Huntail instead of a Gorobus. Which I was definitely pretty upset about, because I would have wanted Gorobus. It would have been a really good Pokemon to have in our adventure in this game, but nope, wasn't in the cards. Honestly, George, to answer your question, I like all of the Gen 3 starters, so I don't really know which one. Like, obviously, Mudkip is the best one to go for in the region, because it's just able to weather anything. But yeah, easily Mudkip is the best choice out of all the starters, but yeah, Trico and Torchic definitely do have their strengths as well. Okay. So, before we head off into this next gym, I want to stop off in Lily Cove City because I want to buy some items in order to prepare for this encounter. Actually, give me a second. I want to check our PC. Alright, we have X-Speed. Honestly, X-Speed would be pretty good to have here. I don't think we need to worry about X-Accuracy. And yep, I don't have one over here. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to be heading back into the department store, as I want to buy a couple items that would be very useful in this next section. Because we got ourselves another battle coming up, and given our current Pokemon levels, we could struggle a little bit. Yeah, we'll buy like 3 X specials. That'll probably be good. Alright, Titania, you're going to be leading here, but honestly, you're not going to see much use in this next gym. Because like I said before, we got all water types that we got to deal with. Alright, Gladys, take us away to Sutopolis City. So now that we have saved the day and the region has been brought back to peace, it's time for a final gym battle. Hayden, we owe it all to you. The sky above Sutopolis has returned to normal. For that, Wallace sends his thanks too. And that same Wallace is waiting for you inside. He's strong, but the way you are now, you should be on equal footing with him. Give it your best shot. Thanks, dude. I'm glad for your vote of confidence. Yo, how's it going, Champion Bound, Hayden? Sutopolis' gym leader Wallace is a master of water-type Pokemon. And to get to Wallace, an icy floor will hamper your progress. Listen, I'm sorry, but that's all the advice that I have for you. The rest of the way, you have to go for it yourself. So yep, Sutopolis Gym is obviously themed around water. And along with that, we also have ice that we gotta deal with. So this puzzle here is pretty simple, all things considered. You just walk on the ice and try to make every single panel crack in order to open the way forward, while also allowing you to be able to get to the next level. So we try to just go up the ice ramp itself. We end up falling down into the basement, and now we have to deal with Wallace's harem of women. You came all the way here, but you don't get to see Wallace. Not if you lose to me, you won't. Yeah, every single gym trainer in this gym are women. So I just assume that they're all Wallace's fangirls. Oh man, this game. Alright, so we obviously got a lot of water Pokemon we're going to be dealing with here. We have seen plenty of these Pokemon all throughout our adventure. At this point, you probably have a grass and electric type in your team. As long as you have those types covered, you should be good here. Could also recommend having Pokemon that could deal with ice, as we could potentially run into some ice-type Pokemon in this gym. Also be sure to have items that are able to deal with statuses like Confusion and Attract, because there's a decent chance you could be affected by those as well. But yeah, honestly, this gym isn't too bad, with the exception of the gym leader because of their... Let's just say they got a really powerful Pokemon in their team that we gotta worry about. Also, let's move our Master Ball out of the front of our ball pocket. We don't really need that. Okay, Zap took a little bit of a beating there. So gonna be mostly relying on our electric and grass types. Though actually having Starmie in her team is also going to be good because they resist water damage. Alright, so this time we got Lumbre. You know what? We'll let Gladys handle you. We haven't really been using Gladys too much in battle at the moment, especially in this session, so let's let her spread her wings a bit and handle these guys. It's very nice that Gladys has Aerial Ace now, which is really good because it never misses. So yeah, that's going to be really useful in these upcoming battles. I was bowled right over. So yeah, my main thing I'm using the gym trainers for is just to get extra experience for Titania, just because I want to see her get to 42 before the end of this session, which we should be able to do. Okay, Azurill, you're just a normal type in this game. I'm not worried about this. You have baby Pokemon stats. There's nothing you can do to Titania. Get out of here. Next up is Meryl. Still a basic Pokemon, but it could still do quite a bit of damage to Titania, so let's switch out. Luckily, we have plenty of options, so I'm not too worried about these guys. So, while we're clearing up some of the trainers in this gym, what's some other stuff that we can talk about? So, obviously, the last couple of days, I have been very busy, and when I haven't been working, I have been playing so much of Pokemon Pokopia, which is the latest game in the series that's been released, and my god, this game is amazing. Just such a very cool experience getting to go through this game, because it's very much like a mix between Pokemon, Animal Crossing, and Dragon Quest Builders. And it just has this emphasis of building a community as well as restoring the environment, which is a pretty cool hook to have for this adventure. Just overall, the game is really fun and addicting, and I've definitely been sinking a lot of time into it, especially because, you know, it takes time for your Pokemon to actually build certain things in the game, and it could take a whole day for them in order to complete certain objectives. So, yeah. I have definitely been having fun with it, and I could easily recommend the game to anyone else. It's such a fun time. Because I know that a lot of people have been very cynical with regards to how Pokemon games have been on the Switch for the majority of these past years, but I definitely feel that Pokopia is just a breath of fresh air, and I've been seeing people saying nothing but good things about the experience with this adventure. And I've been watching so many people streaming it on Twitch and on YouTube. So yeah, I am very happy that this game is not only so good, but is getting a lot of people invested in Pokemon again, which is very good to see. Okay, we're learning Light Screen on Zappercorn here, so that will be very useful in this area, since we're exclusively dealing with water types here, which are going to be special attacking. That's going to be really useful to us. Sharpedo, though, you can just get zapped. I do not need to worry about setting up on you. Just get out of here. But yeah, it's definitely been very fun, especially with this one area you get access to called Pallet Town, but you're able to name it whatever you want, so I ended up calling it Violet Town, you know, because of my branding, where I call myself the Violet Wizard a lot of the time. And I've been having a very fun time just designing what I want that town to look like. And yeah, it's been a blast. So I'm definitely going to be hopping back into that game after this stream session is done, because obviously I still got a lot of more work I want to do. But yeah, just overall been having a great time with it. And it's definitely a game that I would love to stream on this channel sometime in the future. So, you know, it could be kind of fun doing a bit of interacting with the chat and taking suggestions for what we should build and which Pokemon we should move into certain houses. Yeah, I feel like that'd be a very fun experience. Of course, I'm going to need a capture card, so that we'll be able to capture Nintendo Switch 2 footage, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, do these girls just hang out in the basement of this gym all day? Wallace, are you making sure these girls are fed? I'm very worried about them. Alright, let's get this koi out of here. And with that, I believe... Yep, Titania's reached level 42. It's finally time. God, I'm excited for this. Because now it's time for Titania to finally evolve. I can feel more power welling within me. This is good feeling, da. Titania's now evolved into Aggron. Easily one of the best physical tanks in this game. Between steel and rock typing, it is virtually indestructible when it comes to physical damage. Look at that defense stat. God, that's so good. And she also hits really hard with that physical attack. So yeah, Titania, I am so glad that you are now fully grown. We are gonna do such amazing things together, girl, I just know it. And of course, we still got some more trainers to deal with, so let's just take them out with our remaining Pokemon. Then we'll probably switch Titania out, because she's obviously not going to be really good in this gym here. Celeste, you can handle what's coming up next. Alright, not too shabby if I do say so myself. Fools!
Clause, do you really think you could handle me? Oh, you're strong. It is clear now who the superior life form is. I'll show you the blind techniques I learned from our leader, Wallace.
Look, I don't want to be that guy, but if Wallace is keeping you ladies down here in this basement for a large amount of your time, I don't think this is a very healthy place to be, and I don't know if you should be associating yourselves with Wallace. Oh god, especially with the way I portrayed him in my Emerald comic. Let's just say that Wallace in my Emerald comic was very much a cross between Barney from How I Met Your Mother and Quagmire from Family Guy, and let's just leave it at that. Okay, seal up the team, because we've been fighting a lot of ladies. And that takes care of that. Alright, so another Pokemon we could bring into here. Honestly, Filet would be pretty good. You resist water-type attacks. You can hit them very well with Strength. So you'll be a good replacement for Titania. And look at the rest of the team. Honestly, Gladys is pretty frail. We might actually get you out of here. Yeah, we'll bring in Carl. You be good backup in case anything happens to our other Pokemon. So yeah, I am going a little under-leveled into this fight, but I think we should prevail. So what I want to do is try to set up on the first Pokemon using our X items. We should be able to just blow away anything in our path. And Liam, I want you to take the lead in this fight, buddy. You were our first partner. We set off on this journey together. We defeated the first gym leader together. So it makes sense that we defeat the last gym leader together.
Very well. I will do my best to get us through this fight.
Okay, I already messed this up. Alright, this puzzle is a little bit different in Ruby and Sapphire compared to how it is in Emerald. So I'm not 100% on what the path we need to take here is. Okay, I feel like I want to leave that space up there open for now. And we just want to try and snake our way. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. I know that this is. This gym can be a little confusing, not gonna lie. It's not the worst out there, but it does take a while to figure out the solution. Honestly, we might leave that for now. Let's go on this side. And we should have this here. Yep, there we go. Now it's time for the gym leader. Liam, we should be able to handle this, dude. Gonna do a quick save in case anything goes wrong, but we should be fine here. So after this battle, we'll probably call this session here. Let's do this.
Allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Wallace, the gym leader of Sutopolis. There's something about you, a difference in your demeanor. I think I sense that in you. What happened inside the Cave of Origin and what you did, I will likely learn through our upcoming battle. Now, show me. Show me the power you wield with your Pokemon. And I, in turn, shall present you with a performance of illusions in water by me and my Pokemon.
So our final gym leader is Wallace. Unless you're playing Emerald, in which case you'd be facing Juan. He's leading things off with Love Disc. There's nothing I gotta worry about with this Pokemon, so I am gonna quickly use an X Special on Liam. We're just going to be setting up against this thing, building up our special attack stats so that we can just sweep everything on this guy's team. Because I really want Liam to get this win. Okay, this thing is going for Attract and Sweet Kiss, which is really nasty. But we shouldn't be too worried about things here. This thing also has Water Pulse, and I believe most of Wallace's team have that move. So you gotta watch out for that. Alright, so I think I'm gonna cure the confusion first, and then we're gonna go for the... yeah, if it's not going for Attract at the moment, yeah, we'll get rid of the Infatuation, and we should be good here. Alright, as long as this doesn't confuse, we should be good. Alright, our special attack's boosted up. We have access to Giga Drain to heal up any damage we take. Liam, go for the sweep! Alright, Love Disc is down, but obviously that is Wallace's weakest Pokemon, so it's only gonna go up from here. Next up is Celio, an Ice Water type, so you definitely gotta watch out for this thing if you're using a Grass type. I would recommend switching into an Electric type, but we don't need to worry about that because Liam outspeeds and outdamages it. Woo! Next up, Milotic. This is Wallace's ace. And the reason I wanted to buff Liam's special attack, because this thing is a special wall. Thankfully, we should be able to handle it. Yep, there we go. Woo! That was good. So, from this point on, we don't need to worry too much about the rest of Wallace's team. He's got a Wish Cache, which is definitely here to mitigate any electric types you may have due to being part ground. But this thing goes down really easily to Grass-type damage. And last, we have Sea King. Honestly, there's not much this thing is going to do to us. Let's just go for Leaf Blade and finish you. It's over.
And I was just getting warmed up.
Liam gets 2 level ups in that single battle. And with that, we have defeated the final gym leader. Bravo! I realize now your authenticity and magnificence as a Pokemon trainer. I find much joy in having met you and your Pokemon. You have proven yourself worthy of the Rain Badge. Accept it. Let's take our hard-earned prize money, as well as the Rain Badge. Having that badge assures you the full obedience of all your Pokemon to every command you make. The badge also allows the use of the HM move Waterfall to scale walls of cascading water. And, so you never forget the battle we shared, take this. Team O3. Honestly, the worst move that we can get from the gym leaders. The TM I handed you contains Water Pulse, and use will occasionally confuse the target with ultrasonic waves. Yeah, why do I consider this the worst TM you get from the gym leaders? I mean, Water Pulse is pretty nice. It's able to confuse Pokemon. However, it's only 60 base power. When we beat our dad, we got ourselves a Water-type attack that does 95 damage. So yeah, Water Pulse is completely useless in this game. I just have no reason to go for it over a frickin' Surf. And we also got Waterfall and Dive that we also get in this portion of the game. So it just feels really frickin' redundant. But yeah, frustration aside, that fight went really well. We're able to handle the gym leader so easily thanks to Liam. Yeah, it really goes to show, do not underestimate X items. They can be a very useful tool in Nuzlocke runs. So with that, we would probably end this session off here. However, I actually feel like we could take this opportunity to pay a visit to our good friend, the Trickmaster. Since now that we have our final gym badge, we have ourselves an opportunity to take on the Trickmaster's final challenge in the main story of this game. So let's go do that. Satopolis City, you have been a haven of a lot of interesting moments, both peak and sadly not so peak. But it is time to depart. Slateport City, we go in order to face the final trick up the Master's sleeves. And then after this, we're going to call this session, because, God, I'm feeling pretty tired at the moment. But hopefully the next session coming up isn't going to take as long as this one did. I'm not going to be taking an entire week off between the sessions here. We should be able to handle the next one pretty soon. Trickmaster is hiding somewhere in here. Oh, there he is, behind the window. Alright, old man, it's time for your final challenge. Let's do this. So beyond this door, we got ourselves another visit to the Moss Deep Gym, apparently. So yeah, this is going to take us a while to go through. We got ourselves a lot of different paths to take. You want to hit the red switches in order to be able to move these panels to different positions so that you can make your way through the labyrinth. So yeah, we shouldn't take too much trouble through here. I mean, not as much trouble as one of my friends did getting through Waluigi's gym when they were playing... Okay, that was a bad idea. Oh, man, Blocky. Yeah, probably not a good idea having you fight a psychic right now. Ooh, especially if you're doing Future Sight. Come on, just take this thing out, please. There we go. Alright, can that be it? Is that the only Pokemon you have? Nope. Okay, so gotta switch out. Soul Rock. Honestly, Celeste is a good choice. Should be able to handle anything this thing can do to us. Ew, you do have Psywave, though, which sucks. Why did that have to do so much damage? So we have a Future Sight incoming, so I want to keep Celeste as high as we can when it comes to health before we start fighting this Soul Rock. Of course, it's going to buff its defenses. Alright, here comes the Future Sight. But it failed! Ha! Okay, shouldn't have to worry too much about this thing. Psywave is going to be nasty because it can just eat through our defenses, but we should be good. Alright, one more dive should take you out. Ha!
We'll show you what the superior alien is!
There we go. Good work, Celeste. You're much too strong. So yeah, if we got ourselves psychics around here, probably not a good idea to be leading with Blocky. You do not have good special bulk by any means. I guess we could lead with Haywire. She has a lot of HP. She should be able to weather anything these guys can do to us. Okay, now we can head over here. So I think that switch is going to take us back to the start. Yeah, this takes us back here. So, where do we name? Honestly, I don't know why I decided to name him Carl. I think my reasoning was that... Alright, we flip that switch so that we can get over to the scroll. There we go. I think my reasoning for naming him Carl is because I caught him as a slack-off, and my entire thing with him is that he takes so little effort to do anything. So, his name should reflect that by only being one syllable. I don't know, I thought that was a cute idea. Alright, that path's not going to take us here. We want to head over here. So now we have the scroll. It's pretty much going to be a straight shot to where we need to go. We head up this way. That actually takes us back. Okay. So we need to get onto that red switch there. So I think we need to get over to that switch in order to flip that one. Alright, that flips you down, which is gonna take us back over. No, wait, we can go this way, and then we take this path. And now we can flip this switch. Alright, so this should allow us to get back over here. Oh, come on. Alright, we almost got this. At this point, it should be a straight path to our goal. At least to you.
Going around the same spot, it begets ill fortune.
Lady, the only ill fortune I've experienced lately is Kyogre. Oh, she got herself a Bayonet. So I actually did use Bayonet on my team when I played through Emerald back during my Twitch stream days. I just want to say right now, I do not like the Generation 3 Spite for Bayonet. It just looks so awful and the proportions are just so off with it. It is not a good sprite at all. Thankfully, in the Generation 4 games, its sprite is a lot more on model, and I think it looks way better there. Alright, we get a Tropic Mail, which we don't really need. Okay, if we take this path, this should lead us to our goal. Also, completely pointless trainer battle here, but I want experience. So we got Alexis, and she got a Curlia. Alright. Should be able to handle anything this thing can do. You are buffing yourself with Calm Mind, but please, it's a Curlia. It's very weak compared to what you could have potentially been. Like, seriously, you got to level 40 and you didn't evolve it? What's wrong with you? Next up, Xatu. We should be able to just spark you. It does feel good that the effort I put into leveling up Haywire isn't going to waste, since I am finding uses for her outside of the battle against Kyogre. And also just very nice seeing a Lantern being used in general. Like, I've been watching a lot of Chugga Conroy's playthrough of Pokemon Soul Silver recently, and he used a Lantern on his team, and she was so damn useful in a lot of the battles that he was doing in that game. So it feels good to be using this Pokemon after watching those videos in particular. And also, I just really love Lantern in general. Just an anglerfish that has electric powers, such a cool idea. Love this Pokemon. And that takes care of Alexis. Oh yeah, that is a potential there. Although there is no Gallade in this version of the region, sadly. Trickmaster is huggable. Buddy, I wish I had your confidence. It took me all night setting up arrows. You're my equal in greatness. And with that, we get a PP Max. That'll be very good for buffing one of our really powerful moves. Okay, we'll definitely want to hold on to that. And now that we have dispatched with that puzzle, that is the final challenge we can do with the Trickmaster here in the main story of Pokemon Sapphire. In the post-game, you are able to challenge him one more time in order to get his final reward. But sadly, we are not able to do that, since we are not going to be going into the post-game with this adventure, sadly. Our Nuzlocke run ends once we enter the Hall of Fame, and I'm hoping that we're able to do that pretty soon. But yeah, with the way things are gonna go, I feel like this is a good point to end this stream here. So it's definitely been a very fun run this day. We were able to dispatch of a Team Aqua and managed to have an encounter with Kyogre, all things considered. But we managed to make up for it by actually managing to defeat the final gym leader. So look at all of that. We have all 8 gyms. We are now ready to take on the Pokemon League. However, there are some leftover things we need to take care of in the Hoenn region before we can truly consider ourselves ready for the league. So in between stream sessions, I'm going to be taking the time to level up our team a little bit more. And then we'll be seeing everything we can now do in the Hoenn region now that we have access to Waterfall. So until next time, have a good day and take care, everyone. Now, if you excuse me, I need to get back to playing Pokemon Pokopia.